So I'm planning on making a guide soon for people for how to improve at their current skill level. It'll be split into multiple videos, multiple parts, but for now, I figured since I haven't done this yet, I would just record a game and explain my thought process in a bit of detail, just to tell people sort of how I think of the moves to do, because I think that might also help a bit. So here we go. Okay, so at the start, usually my priority is just to lock a column or a row that the spider is in pretty much as soon as possible, just so that I'm prepared for any bonuses. So there's the row locked. I can also sort of slowly build material into that so that when a bonus comes, if it's pretty big, I can just move up and then it'll be down here. This means I also want to keep this column open. There's not much else that I'm really thinking about right now, but a lot of the color matching that I'm doing is sort of second nature by now, and that will sort of slowly improve as you play. So right now this is actually a problem because this is not locked. So okay, now it's locked. This is pretty lucky. I think we're going to be ready for the first bonus. Yeah, so this is open, so we can just go up. That's a bit unfortunate, but we should be fine because we can just merge these like so, and then everything is okay. Got a bit lucky with the timing there. That can just go over here. I'm also trying to keep this row generally unlocked so that if a big bonus comes, I can just put it next to the 192. Like that. Nice. So if I go right here and then I go down, then a 2 will be here, and that's not great. But if I go down here, then I can go right twice, which means that maybe a 3 will be there instead. It's a subtle thing. There's also the chance of getting a 1 here, which kind of solves the problem anyways, because now I can just merge these like so, and then get a nice little sideways merge down there. The board is still not optimal. That was especially a weak point, because if a bonus was coming, I wouldn't have a good place to put it here, but we got past that. I'm currently also, because I really don't like building into this third square if I can avoid it, I'm trying to make a way to move this 48 up and merge that way. That also is fine. I can just stall from here. This is a bit of an annoying situation. I think I can just go right here. Yeah, I got a bit unlucky getting a bonus there, but we should be fine. Going down has like a 2 in 3 chance of 2 in 3 chance to instantly be fine, and even if it isn't like that, that's the 1 in 3, then I can still pretty quickly fix the board like so. That was a bit risky because the 2 was kind of trapped there. We got past it, I think. So here it's possible to get really screwed over by just the 2s and the 1s coming at all the wrong times. So I think even though it's going to mean I'm going to delay more, I'm probably going to go left. That's fine. Then I can just go down, hope for a 1. There we go. here, going left is fine, because even if it does end up behind the 96, it's a pretty low number. Okay, that's fine. I can just go down and then to the right. The colors are pretty separated at the moment, which is a problem, but it should fix itself pretty soon. Like that. Here, down or left doesn't really matter. I think I'll go down. There was no like super obvious reason for that. It just sort of felt better. But a lot of moves there will be like an obvious reason, at least to me, and I'm going to try and relay it to you guys. This is a problem. I think we'll be fine because we really just need like another one in this area to merge everything and be okay. So also the 12 there is nice. I think going down is actually a little safer. This is risky because if I get 4 2s here, I'm kind of screwed. But I didn't. So now we can go up and then merge them into a sort of square formation. Going up here is a tough move to spot, but it's really helpful. Because now you just got this locked area that you can sort of do whatever with while you wait for more material to appear. Like that. That is lucky to get in this situation, even if it's 192. It's not, though, and I think that's still fine, although it's going to be a little annoying to deal with. Yeah. Don't really like that, but we should be fine if we just sort of keep going. Eventually there should be an opening, like so. Then we can just merge everything. Another important thing, going down here kind of traps these ones a bit, and that can be kind of bad. So going left here first, in case a 2 is next, is probably a bit better. Like that. And now the colors are slightly more manageable. Here I'm kind of just waiting for a 3 because there's no better time. I should merge these, I shouldn't delay. If the 24 was instead like a 96, I might consider delaying, but given that it's just a 24 and it can be dealt with pretty easily, there's no real reason to. That was a bit risky. If the 1 was down here, that would have been a problem, but it wasn't. There are a lot of like small risks that you have to take. Okay, the board is kind of empty, which is good and bad. It means that I can move this to the left if a bonus comes, but it also means that I can get screwed over like that. Okay, the bonus came at possibly the worst time. 4 of one color and a bonus is usually very deadly. Luckily, actually it wasn't really the worst time. Luckily, I did have a pretty clear board. Alright, so this is a very important move. If I go down, and the 3, which has a 50% chance of going here, ends up here, I am forced either up or to the right, and both of those moves are basically instant death. So I have to go to the right here. Or earlier I said to the right, I meant to the left. Whatever. This is a bad situation because there's no easy way to merge the 192 with the 196 while using this square for material. Like I can merge them into this square, but that'll leave this square hanging. So I think like this is a pretty bad position here, but it is still definitely manageable. Here is also a pretty bad position. If I go down here, I can't exactly like move the 192 left and right without, well, actually I could, but I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because I could merge everything into this square, but I think I'm more comfortable just working up into here. So I think I can just go left here. That should be safe. There's a 1 there, but that's fine. Here you might be tempted to go up to color match the 2 with the 1, but in reality that's just going to block the 12 from going up, which was why I had this formation set up in the first place. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm actually going to go down here because, well, you'll see. Basically, this makes the 2 merge with the 1 in a couple of moves, and also lends itself well to most spawns. I can also just go down here. Even if the bonus is there, it should be fine. I can go down here again. That's actually lucky because now I have the 24 there. And even with this spot being taken up, we can still merge the 192 into there. And unless another bonus happens, this should be an okay position from here. Okay, this is actually bad. Hang on. Shoot. Yeah, sharp board. Those are rare. You do have to watch out for them. I didn't do a good enough job watching out for them, so I'm in a really bad position now. I think going up might be better. Even though it moves a bigger tile, the size of these tiles doesn't really matter at this point. And if I go left and the 384 gets trapped, actually, I mean, that's not that bad. I think it's easier to unbury the 384. So, alright. Going left here is actually probably what I would do. Since there's no real downside, it's not going to spawn behind the 384 now. We got pretty lucky there. But yeah, I can just go left. If I go right, then there is a chance that it can just spawn in all the wrong places and screw me over, so I think I'm going to go left, wait for a 1, then go right, and we're back to being in an okay position. In a really good position now because of that bonus, actually. Alright, final 8th of this stage. Just need a 192. It's pretty rare that I will die to this specific, like, point in the game where I'm 192 away from getting a whale or a 3072 tile, whichever you want to call it. But it still does happen, right? And it did not happen this time. Got a bit lucky there. The bonus at the right time. But still, I think I will actually go left here first so that I can try and get the 48 merged with all this material for a cleaner merge overall. Alright, I think going left here now is fine, even if the 3 spawns above will be almost at the material needed to merge into the 48. Yeah, so I can just go down. Is right better? No. That's a bit annoying, but we should be fine. I think I do have to trap this 1 for a little. It's actually not going to be trapped that long because the 2 up here is going to reach it in a couple moves. And then from there, it should be fine. This is an interesting board. So a bit of a sneaky move here. If you go down, instead of merging these immediately, it will connect with the 1, which is what I'm going to do. And then we can wait for a 2 to come over here so we can slide it down and merge it with that. And at this point, it should be pretty easy to just sort of fix the rest here. Like so. We're a little weak to a big bonus right now. Okay, we're no longer weak to that. That was pretty good timing. Here, I'm going to go right because that sets up a really good merge. Whereas going left would make too many columns move. Actually, it doesn't much matter here. Just trying to see what would the board state look like after this merge. Yeah, so going right is going to be a slightly better final board state because it'll be easier to consolidate stuff. If I were to go left and then like up, right, then some stuff would be missing. But here, everything is very neatly packed into this area. And if I really wanted to, I could go up here because I do have the material. But I don't think that's the best idea because a bonus could appear. So I think I'm just going to take it relatively slowly and just make sure that I have a good position here. Yeah, like if that appeared while I was busy merging, that would have been really bad. This is tough. This 2 is going to be trapped either way, which is unfortunate. But I think I have to go down and then... No, that's not a good idea. Actually, no, this 2 is fine because I can just do this. Alright, this is a case where I would delay at this point. I don't want to have all this material shoved into one row, so I'm just going to look for a place to merge into this 48, and then I'm going to wait for another 192 of material to appear. This is unfortunate. If a bonus comes now, it's going to be bad. Okay, it's going to be fine now. Here I did those extra moves so that I could block this and have the 24 come over. However, because of the situation in this area right now, I decided to wait a couple of extra moves. Now is probably a good time. Alright, I can afford to lose the square if this isn't a 48, so I'm going to go left here. If I were to go right, that would just be an uncomfortable situation, like really bad if it was a 48. So left it is. Alright, we got a bit lucky. There's a lot of 1s currently here. Going down, I think, traps these tiles more than going to the left. Because if I go down, then this 1 is going to end up here, but the 24 is going to be under it. So it's going to make it harder to reach it just in the future. So doing this instead is probably the better idea. Unfortunate bonus timing, but we should be fine. I can just go this direction. Then I can go down and wait a little bit. Just have these sort of merge together for a little. Yeah, okay. We got the merge set up now. Problem with this if I go down, then the merge is fine, but it doesn't exactly set me up nicely for preparing for bonuses. So I'm not quite sure what to do here. I think I should just go right first. Yeah, because now I'm a little bit more prepared for bonuses. All right. So going up here is actually not a horrible idea because I am ready if it spawns under the 192. I can basically just go down again and then move the 48 or not, depending on what it is. So this is a situational thing. Usually I would just go to the left, but I think that because I'm prepared for it, I can just go up. There's a 1 in 9 chance that it's a 48, and I have to do a bit of an uncomfortable situation, but all right. Here going down, I think it gives me less flexibility to deal with the many twos. Because I can't, like, I'm kind of forced to go right if I go down, because if I go to the left, that's bad for obvious reasons. If I go down again, then it traps this too. So if I go down and then I'm forced to the left, then that is more opportunity for things to just get really bad. So I think going to the right, also so that these twos are more separated, so that they're in 3 different columns, is also a good idea. And now if I go down, even though the 3 is there, I can still just like move it to the side. This is a bit of a difficult situation. I think, yeah, this is fine actually. Because, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could force the merge and go left, 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 down, down, right, down, left, down, and then there would be a 48 in here with all of this material. But that doesn't really talk about bonuses at all. And given this next button, I could also just go right and then left, down, right, down, which I think is a better idea. Yeah. Also got a bit lucky with the timing there. Alright, if this is a 192, then I'm going to have to do some delaying. So hopefully it's not. Actually, I don't really have to do delaying if it is, but it's going to be an uncomfortable position either way. Alright, that's actually possibly worse. I think I can still delay here. Alright, if it spawns in the top column, that's a problem. If it doesn't, then we're fine. Okay, we're fine for the most part. Okay, this is turning into a more problematic board, but I think with this it should be basically fine. Yeah. I think going right and taking the temporary lost tile is a bit better than taking the lost tile from the 24s being separated, so I'm going to do that. This looks bad, but because I'm close to merging them, it shouldn't be too bad. That's kind of problematic. Okay, no, we're fine. Well, the merge is still going to be annoying, but we should be fine for this. The reason I went up there is to be prepared for a bonus if it happened the next move. Right now, we are in a really bad spot to deal with bonuses, but we can't really avoid that when there are 4 of the same color tile. That's just sort of always going to be a bad position. This too is annoying right now. I think going up, right, down should put me in an okay position. unless that happens. Because there were 4 2s, I know that a 1 is probably going to be after this bonus. So I can kind of bank on that. But even still, like, banking on that would mean going right, I think. Alternatively, I could go up. I actually don't really see a downside to that, because I'm going to be merging this 192 into the 384 very soon anyways with all this material. So I can just have that be there for a couple of moves. And we're fine, pretty much. Yep. The reason I didn't go up and merge them is because that would once again put me at risk of bonuses to some extent. Also here, like if I go to the side, I guess that could work, but I think down puts me in a better position because I have more like moves available. So I'm going to do this because now there's a 2 there and that's fine. And it got dealt with anyways. Here is an annoying position. I don't like this because basically in order to have these 2 squares be of any use, you have to lock all 3 of these. Usually. You can break that rule sometimes, and I might be able to here actually, but it's just usually annoying. Alright, going up is the obvious move here, but I think going down is slightly better. Because if it's a 24, then you can just put it here and then merge these, and then you've got the material. But if it is like a 6 or a 12, then you're still fine. Yeah, see, we're still in a good position here, even if it's not like perfect. Well, I mean, this isn't great. Yeah, I think going up here is actually better. Now we're looking for a 3 up there. This can also function as that. Or I can just ignore the top 2 squares, which is sometimes the best idea. Now here, I might be able to do a fancy thing. I'm planning to go up here, and you might see why soon. Yeah, because now I get to do this merge, and this is a really fun merge to do. I think we're safe. Alright, we might not be safe. If I go down, that's not good, so I think I have to go that way. Yeah, okay. We're fine now. That was a bit risky because the 24 put us in a bit of a bad spot, but we should be fine. That was also sort of a in-between move because there was no risk of me doing that. Currently, as usual, just trying to build material and stay ready for bonuses. At this point, when there's high tile over 8 and high tile over 4, you want to be building towards the side of high tile over 4, because that makes you more prepared for if the high tile over 8 appears as a bonus. So I'm going to kind of try and do that. Not anymore, because I have to deal with that now. Actually, yeah, that also helps me do that, so never mind. We should be fine. I can just, yeah. Well, this is a bit annoying, but yeah, we should be fine. So here, important thing, if I go up, that does build towards the high tile over 4, but it also puts me in an annoying position because it could very easily just block this 1, which is a bad idea. So I think that the benefit I get from the cleaner merge of going down, left, down, down, right, down is more beneficial than the benefit from building towards the side of the 768. So I also get a few in-between moves to deal with that. That's a bit annoying. I think, well, we technically have the material for a 192 here, but it's not in the right spots. Alright. Actually, this is completely fine now, because I can just go right, down, up, and then we're chilling. Well, we're not completely chilling. Also, I should probably go up here, just so that I'm more prepared for whatever happens. Yeah, and then we can do this, that, this, and we're fine for now. Trying to build to the 12 first. I think going down is a slightly better bonus preparedness than going, well, maybe not. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think actually going right there was better. Alright, this is a nice position. That's less nice, but actually, that's perfect, I think, because no matter what it is, it's going to put us in an okay position. That was possibly the worst thing it could be, but it's still fine. Because I can just keep going down. No real reason to rush it. Got a bit lucky with the spawn there, but still. And then I wait for a 3, because you can't really hope for anything better there. Yeah, so the problem with merging those is now we're a bit weak here. We can't really deal with bonuses effectively. So I kind of just have to wait for a 3 to appear right there at the right time. And now we're fine. Perfect timing, by the way. Thank you. Also, max bonus, that helps speed up the game a little. Another max bonus. Or, well, max options. Alright. This is a bit annoying. I might have to end up de-anchoring if I get really unlucky here. Okay, I did not get really unlucky. Cool. Going up here might be hard to spot, but I think it is the best move by a substantial amount. I'm going right here twice, because yeah, there's going to be some blues coming. So we'll be prepared for those. We're 1-3 away at this point from having the material for plus 768. And there's the 3. But once again, as usual, the problem is it's not in the right position at all. Okay, that could make it go to the right position if I can figure out a line. This is difficult. I'm not quite sure what a clean line is here. I don't think there is one, actually. So I think I just sort of have to kind of hope. This is actually a bad idea, I think. Well, no, because it's actually prepared for all 3 possible spawns. Well, almost all 3. Yeah. If a 2 comes after this, then this is a problem. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, no, this is perfect. I can just sort of stall as long as I really want. This is a problem because the 1 is trapped, but hopefully that resolves soon. That's also a bit of an issue, but that's also getting dealt with, and the 1 is dealt with. Still a bit weak to bonuses right now, but okay, down here, by the way, is kind of a sharp board risk, so just so you know, because if I go down, then I kind of have to go right. Not kind of, I do have to go right, and then I can get like spawns here, and either here or here, and then I will be forced to move one of them. So going right here is better. Once again, flatboard risk, unfortunately. Here it's fine. Nice. Okay. We're in the end game now. So we can just get RNG carried and get like another 384. And that's a way to get past this. Otherwise, it's just sort of microplay, and you just gotta sort of get better at this with practice. Like, there's not really much I can say about why I'm doing these moves other than, like, they just sort of make intuitive sense to me. Alright, that's a problem. Going left here is definitely best. Yep, that's pretty good. I think just, ooh, wait. This could actually be good. Yeah, I think, unless I get really unlucky. Okay, good, I got lucky. It's funny when getting a lot of one color is actually luckier than getting one of the other at a certain point. Okay. I think I just gotta take the loss of a tile for now. If it's a 192, then maybe I can figure out how to merge it, but otherwise I think I'm just gonna go right and have it be put there. Alright, it's a 192, that's something. Actually, we should be fine here. Actually, I don't know about saying we should be fine. This is very not fine, actually. Well, maybe. Maybe we'll be okay. Going up seems like the obvious move here. Yeah, we're fine. At least for now. Also, make sure to always be checking for in-between moves, because that one was really helpful. Alright, we're in the Valio stage now. Should be fine just going left here, because I can just go right immediately after. Yep, and then we can do this, that. 3 is the best time to do that, but honestly, I might just leave them there. It helps me with locking columns, and at this point, I'm probably going to get a bonus bigger than them in the time it takes me to get enough material to merge them, like so. So, I don't know which is better. I think it doesn't much matter, but I think if I were going to choose, I would choose this. Alright, we got lucky there. Didn't have to work with a bad board for too long. I can probably just keep doing that. Alright, lucky. A bit unlucky there, though. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that just slots in nicely. Alright. That's also nice. I shouldn't do that because that blocks the 12 from going there. Alright. As you can see, there are a lot of in-between moves for what I'm doing. And those are really important for making sure that the colors don't get out of hand. Because they can very easily, like if you have 4 or more of them, it's like, even if they're not the same color, if you have like many of them, it can be a really big problem, and it can spiral really fast. Alright, I think going right here with the intent to move the 12 to the side at some point is probably a good idea, although it may end up biting me. I don't know. Yeah, so worst case scenario, I get sharp boarded here, and I have to move the 24s to the side. I think that's a risk worth taking. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. I think I have to prioritize getting that one dealt with, because a color tile there is a really big problem usually. My best chance is to go left, because I still have the ability to like do a cool merge down into a 96 there. That works too. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a good idea anymore, because it's going to be hard to get the 48 there, so I can just delay a little bit while I try and get enough material to merge towards the 48. And there we go. This is a problem though. Alright, it's no longer a problem. Yeah, this board was kind of weak to really big bonus like that. There's not much you can do about that at this point in the game. We should be fine from here, because I can just merge these down. But still, we're currently in a suboptimal board state. So, hopefully we get out of it before the next really big bonus. If it happens, we can always just go up like this, and then it can spawn under one of these two. And usually that's fine. If it spawns under the third, that's a problem. But if it spawns under these two, like for instance, if a 192 spawned under the 384 here, I could just move left and it'd be fine. Same with actually like all bonuses. If they just spawn there and they're big enough to merge with one of these or this, then I can just move right and down and it'll be fine. But if it spawns here, I can't really do that, so that would be a problem. Anyways, just that's sort of my thought process for how this board is going and what I can do for any bonuses that appear. Perfect timing, actually. So left is probably a bad idea, because unless it's a 768, it's a problem. So yeah, because having like high tile, high tile, high tile, high tile really constricts movement. So going up is probably the best bet here. Unfortunately, we got a 384 in the exact spot I said would be bad. But luckily, that's still fine, because I can just merge those instead of having to worry about merging them later. Now, these are annoying, but there's not much I can do about it, so I just have to play with a tile down for now. There was probably a misplay in there. I was unable to deal with any bonuses if they appeared for a bit too long there, so I feel like I must have done something suboptimal. That's an issue. Yeah, so this might actually be like the end. It's unclear. Alright, it might not though, if I get really lucky like that. Alright, this is annoying, because there's no really good way to merge these. I think I just have to go left and hope for like a 3 spawn next. Okay, a 3 did not spawn next. So now I just have to deal with this. Okay, I hate that. Yeah. I think this is probably a good idea. Oh, wait a minute. That's really lucky. Okay. Yeah, because now we're somehow fine after all of that. Playing in this 10 tile space is always a bit weird. Also, that's a problem. If I get lucky, then we are in the plus 3k endgame, but if I don't, which is likely, then we have a problem. Alternatively, I could go this way, but that's kind of suicide because it would take some luck to get out of the formation that these would make. So I think I'll just go this way. All right. Interesting. This is a problem. Okay. Yeah, it might be Jover. Or it might not. It's still unclear. All right, dude. That's a bit unnecessary at this point. We've still got a lot of work to do. I have the material, but it is not in the right positions. All right. This is farther than a lot of my games make it, by the way, which is pretty lucky. Alright, that's possibly the best spawn there that could have happened. It's unclear. That's not as good. Alright. We're getting close to the material where I can do a rearrange and put, well, not really a rearrange, but like I can arrange them in a good way, I guess is a way to put it. Like this. Like this is a good position. Because now, well, I think going left here is actually better, because if I go right, then there's like a chance that, well, no, I think going left, down, right should be fine completely. Yeah. Because even if it spawned over the 192, I could still deal with that by just going right again. Nope, wrong way. Alright, there. Up. Yep. Okay, dude. This might be it. Up is probably my best bet. Alright. We are still alive, but for how long is unclear. So I could try and move the 384 up and merge that with all this into the 192. This position is kind of begging for that to happen, honestly, so I might do that. Because I can do this. That's probably the cleanest line. Then I can go up, even though that separates stuff for a bit. Still probably the best option. I think this is fine. That's a problem though. I hate that. Okay. I'm not quite sure what to do here. I think I just gotta do this and hope that the next spawn is not a 3, because that will screw me over if it is. Okay, it is not a 3. It's unclear what to do at this point. This is a fancy move, but I don't know how good it is. But honestly, it might be the best. Either way, it looks cool, so I'll try it. Alright. Turns out it might not have been the best. I think I just gotta hope to get lucky now. That was weird. Okay, that's kind of bad, actually. Like, that's really bad, actually. This is probably my best course of action. Not much I can do at this point, I don't think. Either way, it was a good run. That's pretty nice, but still, there's like way too much luck needed to recover from this. Alright, yeah, so the 192 there, as you can see, is in a very bad spot. It can't easily reach the 384, so I am forced into a sort of a 12,000 endgame where I have to make a 192 in a 10 tile space. Up here is probably best. That's a bit unfortunate, but we're still technically alive. This is interesting. If I go up, I'm probably dead. But if I go any other direction, I'm also probably dead. So, YOLO. Alright. I have the 384, but, well, no, I don't even have that yet. Hang on. Gotta make sure I have that before I say I have that. Alright, I have the 384 now, but still many problems. Yeah, I figured red was coming. There we go. That's better. I don't even know where to put this, honestly. Suppose I could do that. Yeah, like what do you do here? Alright, at least I got the plus 1500. There's not really much commentary to be added here. It's just sort of do the moves you have to until you die. That's annoying, actually. I was kind of close to maybe salvaging it, but good game. This was way farther than most of my games go, so can't really complain. Nice. Anyways, hope this helped at least a little bit. And yeah.